Think about it. We are the first generation that actually eliminated boredom. Doing chores, pull out your phone. In a long line, pull out your phone. In a boring conversation, pull out your phone. We are addicted to a black box. The very second life gets a little uncomfortable, we run to the screens. And with all this information, you think we'd be happier. But no. Depression, all-time high. Loneliness, all-time high. And our focus is completely gone. Done so. People can't even read a book nowadays. Of course, we can blame social media. It's fun. It's easy to blame social media. Oh, it's Instagram. Oh, it's TikTok. But no, we need to take a little personal responsibility and be completely honest with ourselves. The phones, they're not going anywhere. The social media, it's not going anywhere. And honestly, it's just getting worse. I know you've seen those AI fruit videos. So here's the thing. In order to combat this new evolved media, we need to use an ancient technique that has been preached in every single religion. Gen Z does not need more stimulation. We have enough content to last us years, decades even, centuries, really. What we need is meditation. But before we get to the solution, we gotta talk about the problem. We are literally addicted to noise. When your head is filled with noise and constant stimulation, you lose connection with your inner self. This is why people nowadays are so NPC. So many people have this same opinions, or they're paying attention to things that quite frankly don't even matter. You literally cannot hear your intuition when you have constant noise around you. Some of the greatest inventions were made in silence. When they couldn't, put on the TV, put on the TikTok. I had this idea for this video in silence. Truly. Kind of ironic though. But if we want to access deeper levels of awareness, we have to put the phone down and look up and touch grass. Because constant dopamine does something to your brain. It rewires it to where you don't feel like doing normal everyday tasks. Okay, you don't feel like, let's say, going to the gym. Why? Because that's more of a long-term task. That's a task that has a long-term reward. So with this generation, when we are scrolling and it seems innocent, what we're actually telling our brain is that we're rewiring it for short-term dopamine. We're telling it, hey, I only live for short-term dopamine. So when it's a long-term dopamine task, we tell our brain's like, what is this? This is foreign. Why are you going for a run? Why are you hitting the gym? Why are you studying? Why are you doing chores? Why are you doing absolutely anything that will reward you in the future? When we can just go on our phones or go on that one thing that you keep pulling out of your pocket, right? Because your brain probably doesn't really know what a phone is. Yada yada. Anyways, why don't we just hit the short-term dopamine button? It's so much easier. We get the same stuff, but it's easier. But no, you're not contributing to everyday life. So you slip back. You start, taking your foot off the gas pedal. Guys, when there was times where I had my phone on black and white, I deleted all apps. I don't have Instagram on my phone. I go on it on the website, but I try to do a lot of things that I will not go on shorts as much as possible. I don't even have TikTok. And I know a lot of y'all got TikTok. Okay? I know a lot of y'all got TikTok. I have a TikTok account. I post on it every once in a while. But like, I don't have it on my phone. I don't have Instagram on my phone. Okay? Like, I don't have it there. Isn't that wild? Like, so many people got it. I know. It's crazy work. For most of human history, people have had long-term, monks even, they go through retreats of silence. They don't even talk. Okay, but this is where enlightenment is founded upon, because enlightenment is within you, right? So when you are constantly looking externally outside of you, how are you ever going to find the true awareness and beauty and God powers that you have within? You're never gonna find it, right? The next point is avoiding boredom. Avoiding boredom destroys our ability to grow. Because what we call boredom is really just mindfulness. It's being aware. It's looking around at your surroundings. When you think of true peace, do you think of somebody scrolling on their phones? Do you think of somebody constantly looking for dopamine? No, true peace is within. True peace cannot be found externally. True peace cannot be found living a very fast lifestyle. This is why great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius have used meditation, and he actually has a book called Meditations, wow, to develop ideas that last for centuries. If you read the book and you look at how his mind worked, even when it was about very simple things like getting out of bed, and you seen the development of his mind, of this Roman leader, you realize like, damn, we do not think like that at all nowadays. Doom scrolling really does is devolves your mind into a very almost ape-like state. Even me, bro. I remember my old videos, I was watching some of my old videos, I was like, damn, I was spitting. I'm still spitting, but like, sometimes it doesn't hit as hard. You know what I'm saying? Meditation trains you to detach from external noise, giving you control over your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts control you. Guys, we have like a million thoughts per day, and I'm telling you, like, after like meditating for a whole year, I meditated for an hour before, you realize most of your thoughts are literally pointless. Yes, a lot of thoughts are just taking you out of the present moment, taking you to something negative, taking you to some bullshit. I'm not saying most of my thoughts are like this. I'm really just saying most thoughts in general. If you don't meditate, if you just allow life to kind of push you, they're just kind of pointless, right? What meditation does is it allows you to observe your thoughts. I wouldn't really say control your thoughts. It more allows you to observe your thoughts. Observe your thoughts, and then you can kind of be able to control them once you get into more advanced forms of meditation. But for the most part, it's more like you are observing your thoughts. And you're like, huh, that thought's kind of dumb. And then you just drop it, right? Like, you don't even have to think about it anymore. You're just like, I don't really have to think about that or contribute to that thought. Like, you may have a negative thought about somebody, and you're just like, you know what? I'm having this negative thought about this person. Like, what's the point? And I believe that other people can feel your energy, right? So I think if you think negatively about somebody, they think negatively about you. And even if that's not true, it still holds a candle to, like, you just shouldn't think negatively about people, especially people in your life. What meditation teaches you to do is, like, realize your thoughts aren't you. They're not really a good representation of who you are. So when you're scrolling, especially, and how this all ties in, you have a million thoughts about a million things, especially if you're scrolling a lot. You may look at this AI fruit video, right? You may look at this AI slot video. You may see this person talk about this streamer. You may see this person talk about this. I don't really have AI free videos on my timeline, just letting you know. The point being, right? You're having a little thought about this video, a little thought about this video, a little thought about this video, a little thought about this video. And these thoughts, you think they just go away, but if you give them an emotional connection, they stay within like your aura field, your energy field, right? They stay around you. So if you have a negative thought and you send emotion, especially if you send emotion to that negative thought, and let's say it's about a streamer you don't know, right? That shit is still around you. And then throughout the day, you may feel a little bit more negative. You may have negativity about traffic, or you may have negativity about this, or, you know, maybe you call this streamer stupid, and now you're calling somebody in your actual life stupid. Oh, I hate when people do this. You remind me of this person that I saw on fucking TikTok, right? The point is, what meditation allows you to do is immediately stop that thought in its tracks. So you may have a negative thought. You may still have that same exact negative thought, right? And you're just like, I don't even know why I'm saying that. That's stupid, right? That's why I say Gen Z needs meditation more than ever, because eventually people's thoughts are going to be like, right? It's going to just keep going and going and going and going and going and going. We're not going to be able to keep up. Meditation is like the exact opposite of doom scrolling. It's no dopamine at all. You are literally in peace by yourself. Just fucking one, dude. It's wild once you get to more advanced forms of it. For the most part, though, shit, I gotta make sure this is still recording. There we are. We're good. Yeah, that's why they show that meditation allows you to lower your cortisol levels. Meditation actually lowers your cortisol levels. It lowers your brain fatigue. Why'd you just turn off, bitch? Not only that, but it strengthens areas of your brain that are there for regulation of emotional control. So why monks are so stoic. They're just chilling all the time. Because meditation, if you have a negative thought, or if you have some bad thoughts, like, meditation allows you to just observe them. If you are able to just observe something, it doesn't affect you even if you have the thought. A lot of people think that with meditation you're able to control your thoughts. You're not. No, of course not. But what you're able to do is observe it and not let it control you. Because if you don't bring any emotional energy to a thought, it actually has no emotional control to you. Like if I said, if I said you are ugly, it really doesn't do much, does it? If I say, bro, you are ugly, that emotional relevancy does something to the words. It makes them more powerful. Now, if I say that to you and you connect with that, you are ugly, with the sadness, then that is how I'm affecting you. That's why words are called spells. Boom, all connects. So this is why meditation is needed with Gen Z more than ever. If you loved this video, please leave a like and also subscribe. I'm making more of these videos. I'm making videos for like 5 years, guys. I'm never gonna stop. So yeah. Also, if you want one-on-one fitness coaching and self-mastery coaching, the link will be in the description. Peace.